for Democrats to take back control of the House in 2026.
Well, I mean, I asked you if Mamdani was the future of the party, and you didn't answer the question. You said the House Democrats are. I would note that at least a couple House Democrats from the New York area are not endorsing Mamdani. Your endorsement took a long time. Schumer still has not endorsed him. Are you concerned about Republicans using him as a lightning rod so as to hurt your ability to win back the House in 2026?
Hakeem Jeffries did not want to answer some of these questions that Jake Tapper would not let up on, even though he's a Democrat. But you need to get ready, because sitting through Hakeem's lies, even when we get to the good parts where Jake Tapper calls him out, it's tough. And I want to see how many of you guys cannot throw up in your mouth while listening to Hakeem lie and lie and lie. We'll see how long I made it. I know how long I made it in the video before I had to throw up. Hopefully you guys have stronger stomachs than me. It's Sean Daniel here. If you enjoy the Sunday Marathon, hit the like button. Now let's go. Hit that like button.
Even these emergency supplemental funds for SNAP, even if they ultimately, the Trump administration ultimately does use them, it's only enough to keep benefits going, food stamp benefits going for 2 to 3 weeks, which is significant, but obviously not a long-term solution. I understand why Democrats are voting against the continuing resolution to fund the government. You're fighting for the extension of the Obamacare premiums. You're fighting to restore Medicaid funds. But I wonder, when these SNAP funds are gone, whether this week or 3 weeks from now, if the contingency funds are used, are you worried at all that that pressure point will cause more Democrats to rethink the strategy and maybe ultimately vote for the government funding bill?
Well, we're continuing to make life better for the American people. We want to reopen the government. We want to enact a bipartisan spending agreement that actually makes life better for everyday Americans. And of course, we want to make sure that we can decisively address the Republican healthcare crisis, which is crushing people all across the country, including working class America, rural America, urban America, small town America, the heartland of America, and black and brown communities throughout America. It's very unfortunate that Donald Trump and Republicans have decided to weaponize hunger and withhold SNAP benefits, even in contravention of 2 federal courts, which have made clear that not a single person in this country should go without their nutritional assistance, and, of course, that the funds exist to make sure that those SNAP benefits are paid through November, as has been the case with Donald Trump and his administration finding funding for other projects, but somehow they can't find money to make sure that Americans don't go hungry.
Yeah, Trump hates America so much that he found privately some money to pay for the people that defend and protect our country, the troops. Yeah. Hates Americans, right, Hakeem? I'm going to throw up in my mouth again, listening to this whole thing.
You're refusing to fund the government until Republicans join you to help prevent Americans' health care costs from skyrocketing, as well as to restore some of the money from Medicaid that was cut. I understand why Democrats are making the choice, but you acknowledge that it's a choice here, right?
No, what I acknowledge is that we're asking Republicans to sit down, as we've indicated our willingness to sit down with them anytime, any place, anywhere, either at the Capitol or back at the White House, in order to find a bipartisan path toward enacting a spending agreement that actually makes life better for the American people. So yes, we are committed to doing things like lowering the high cost of living for the American people in an environment where Donald Trump promised to lower costs on day one. But costs haven't gone down. Costs are going up. Housing costs are up. Grocery costs are up. Childcare costs are up. Electricity prices are through the roof. And now, because of the Republicans' refusal to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, we know that tens of millions of Americans are about to experience dramatically increased premiums, copays, and deductibles, such that they will be unable to go see a doctor. In some cases, Jake, you're talking about premium increases of $1,000 to $2,000 per month. That is completely and totally unsustainable, unacceptable, and un-American.
Sorry, guys, I had to throw up real quick because that was sickening to listen to. Hakeem claims that he wants to lower costs for everyday Americans. What's one way to lower costs for Americans? Simple, you know? Because that's what the Democrats are fighting for. By giving them money to then go pay for their bills. And you know how you do that? You actually let government workers get paid off the work they've been doing. That's all they have to do. Open the government. People get money for what they've actually done, the work they've actually done, the hours they put in. And then they have more money to then go pay to live, so therefore the cost of living goes down because they have the money from the work they actually did. But no, the Democrats don't want to do that.
I understand, but the decision to not fund the government means very real pain caused today. People not getting paychecks today and SNAP funds today. And then obviously at airports across the country, delays are getting worse due to air traffic controller shortages. The FAA says that in the New York area, nearly 90% of air traffic controllers are out. The White House says that Thanksgiving travel could be a disaster if this shutdown continues that long. Are Democrats prepared to keep the government closed through Thanksgiving if it comes to that?
The question is, why are Republicans continuing to keep the government shut down? They have the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Donald Trump just made clear over the weekend repeatedly that Republicans have the ability to reopen this government. They don't want to do it because they'd rather continue to gut the health care of the American people. And here are some questions that need to be asked. Why have House Republicans remained on a taxpayer-funded vacation for the last 6 weeks? They keep canceling votes. They've canceled votes for next week. Of course, they are unserious as it relates to reopening the government. Why has Donald Trump spent more time on the golf course, including this weekend, than he has in talking to Democrats on Capitol Hill who represent half of the country? It's because apparently Donald Trump is uninterested in reopening the government. He doesn't want to stand up for hardworking federal employees. They fired more than 200,000 federal employees prior to them shutting the government down on October 1st. And why are Republicans so unwilling to even sit down and have a conversation with their Democratic colleagues on Capitol Hill in order to find a bipartisan path forward? It's because they are trying to inflict this cruelty on the American people. And Jake, this is a group of folks who passed their one big ugly bill, largest cut to Medicaid in American history. At the same time, they cut $186 billion from SNAP, literally ripped food out of the mouths of hungry children, seniors, and veterans. They did this in July, and that was done so they could reward their billionaire donors with massive tax breaks that they made permanent. And now they're unwilling to extend tax credits for working class Americans.
So you alluded...
It's all unacceptable, and it's obviously part of their plan.
I know how sickening and frustrating it can be to listen to people like Hakeem Jeffries for a long time. Sometimes I even wonder how you guys make it through the videos, how I make it through the videos. But if there's one positive takeaway you can take from this is that if you have some guilt or condemnation about when you've lied or you've not been honest or you tried to play tricks on people, yes, you should have some. You shouldn't feel condemned if you realize you're wrong and you change your ways. But you will realize you are nothing compared to Hakeem Jeffries, who will literally every single day go on here and spew lie after lie after lie. And so many of them so obvious that it should make you guys feel good about any wrongdoing, lies, misrepresentation you've done, because you're nothing compared to Hakeem.
So you alluded to President Trump saying that the Senate Republicans have the power to pass the government shutdown. He's saying that by saying that they should get rid of the filibuster. You're saying that they should get rid of the filibuster and just own this entirely?
No, what I'm saying is that that's a decision ultimately for the Senate to make. However, President Trump has acknowledged, listen, from the very beginning of this presidency, he's enacted a my way or the highway approach to jam their extreme right-wing ideology down the throats of the American people. Reckless Republican policies, which are now causing hospitals, nursing homes, and community-based health centers to close all across the country. Now he's saying to his Republican colleagues, senators, those who actually just work for him because they don't work for the American people, reopen the government, and they refuse to do it.
Big elections coming up in just 2 days. Governor's race in Virginia, governor's race in New Jersey, And then the mayor of the city in which you live, New York, New York, you've already cast your ballot for mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani. Do you see Mamdani as the future of the Democratic Party?
No, I think the future of the Democratic Party is going to fall, as far as we're concerned, relative to the House Democratic Caucus and members who are doing a great work all across the country as it relates to our need to both take back control of the House, but in doing so, make sure that we're communicating to the American people like we understand you deserve better than the country that you have received. Donald Trump and Republicans have gone way too far and have failed to deliver anything meaningful for the American people. And as Democrats, we're going to focus on lowering the high cost of living, on fixing our broken healthcare system that Republicans continue to make worse with their toxic policies, and of course on cleaning up corruption in the Congress, in the courts, and within the administration, with Donald Trump running the largest pay-to-play scheme in the history of the country. So we're going to continue to affirmatively lean in on the issues that we know matter to the American people. I expect that we're going to see a big night on Tuesday in New Jersey and in Virginia, and certainly as it relates to Prop 50 in California, where we stop Trump from stealing the election. And then that'll lay a foundation for Democrats to take back control of the House in 2026.
Well, I mean, I asked you if Mamdani was the future of the party, and you didn't answer the question. You said the House Democrats are. I would note that at least a couple House Democrats from the New York area are not endorsing Mamdani. Your endorsement took a long time. Schumer still has not endorsed him. Are you concerned about Republicans using him as a lightning rod so as to hurt your ability to win back the House in 2026?
No, the lightning rod in terms of what's going to impact the ability of either side to win control of the House or hold control of the House in 2026 is going to be the failure of Republicans to actually deliver on the promises that they've made and to actively make life worse for everyday Americans. The country knows that we're heading in the wrong direction. We see it repeatedly. The country knows that Republicans have refused to make health care affordable and are actively making it unaffordable, depriving working class Americans of their ability to see a doctor when they need one. And the country knows that Republican policies have been all about the wealthy, the well-off, and the well-connected, and they have not focused on making life better for everyday Americans. We will as House Democrats.
That was a professional pivot by Hakeem Jeffries, but also a professional interrogation by Jake Tapper to call him out about why he's taken so long on Mamdani to endorse him. And then why did you take such a big pivot when all I did was ask you if he's the party's future? That was a professional political pivot Hakeem Jeffries did. And if you look at his face.
Zohran Mamdani, do you see Mamdani as the future of the Democratic Party?
Watch. Little smirk right here. Oh, his lip twist. And he does a little smile. To me, he's got like a slightly more agitated look on his lips and his facial expression that he had to hide because he's pissed, I think, at the traction Mamdani is gaining and that he had to go endorse him and he sees him as a big threat. And then he did this whole filibuster to try to not answer that question. That tells me, I think, how concerned he is about giving Mamdani any attention, and he basically had to endorse him. I think these Democrats are scared, man. It's Sean Daniel here. If you want to keep the Sunday marathon going, check out this video right here with Senator John Fetterman in his hoodie, ridiculously dressed. But a lot of times he says things that the Democrats are afraid to say. Check out this video right here, and I will see you there.